2, Sheffield United 0, and we nicked another one at the very end with Hakim Ziyech getting another confident boosting goal. But that was... Semi-finals, here we come, right? Semi-finals, here we come. We can't say that was pretty. We can't say that was difficult. In the first half, we absolutely bossed that game, and in the second half, they stepped up. Look, they weren't going to go out from the cup with a whimper. They've sacked their new manager. They've got a new manager in charge, and this manager is going to rally them up. The troops are going to get rallied up, and honestly, they deserved something. They deserved something from the game, but our quality shone through, and we are going to talk about this in this video. This is a sign of a good team. You don't play well, but you keep a clean sheet, and you nick 2 goals. Fantastic, I'm not going to lie to you. It is going to be a super interesting video, so hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's aim for 200 likes, because you want Chelsea to win the FA Cup. Let me know in the comments below who was your man of the match. For me, man of the match was simple. It was Billy Gilmore. Billy Gilmore bossed the game, and once he came off, the game really turned. We didn't have that controller. We did not have that impetus to control the game. But I'll talk about that in more detail. Let's get on with the video. As we could see, right, from the team news, Thomas Tuchel does not rate this competition nowhere near as highly as other managers have it in the past. With Frank Lampard, there were never this many changes. With Thomas Tuchel, he takes the very continental approach with 9 changes. And I kind of understand it. We have got a massive squad. And part of the reason having a massive squad like this is that you rotate. So it defeats the object when you have 19, 20 players, but only 16 of them play on a weekly basis. Or on a monthly basis. It is ridiculous. So as you could see, there was a lot of changes, and you could tell that the chemistry issue, the build-up, there was a lot of rust in a lot of the players in the first half. But it was a convincing performance in my opinion, and we will get into it. So let's start with number 1. We're going to start with a controversial topic, and the controversial topic is Christian Pulisic and his performances recently. Man, you know what? I'm usually very harsh on Christian Pulisic, but you guys are extremely harsh on the kid. The kid has come off a lot of injuries, and has he been on the peripherals? 100%. But today's performance was decent. But if you look at my timeline, people are criticizing him left, right and center. Let's talk about it. Was he sloppy in the beginning? Yes, he was, but so were a lot of other people. So please be positive about it. All right, keep the consistency equal. I don't want to see everything on a tangent, right? Pulisic gets this treatment, Hudson-Odoi gets this treatment. It wasn't his fault, okay? Then you start looking at the other aspects of the game, and this is where it was interesting. The chance he missed in the first half with a chip, great save, but that chance doesn't come if he doesn't read the pass and use his athleticism to get into that position. In the second half, a neat piece of trick to get past 3 players with 1 move. Not 1, not 2, but 3 players with 1 move. This kid is the real deal. We need to have some patience with him, but at the same time, he needs to demand for the ball a lot more. It is getting annoying when he is not getting on the ball. Today, he was doing better. I'm not going to lie to you. Today, he was doing better. Maybe the style change from Frank Lampard to Thomas Tuchel to a more possession-based game is going to take some time for him to adjust. But he's 21 years old. Have some patience for blood crying out loud. Number 2, and this is my biggest issue with us. Okay, so when we play with wingbacks, right? Callum Hudson-Odoi and Ben Chilwell. Both of the players really frustrated me today. In Callum's aspect, every time he got the ball, he couldn't take a man on because they were doubling up. They were literally saying, look, Callum, you're going to have to beat 2, 3 of us because they know the threat he poses. They know the creativity he has if they leave him one-on-one. But then this forced Chelsea to go down the left-hand side where they tried Bogle versus Ben Chilwell on a regular basis. And Ben doesn't have the attributes. He doesn't have the minerals to beat his man. Ben was actually a bit better today in carrying the ball, in actually running into space and engaging their defensive midfielders, engaging their left wing back. Bogle actually had something to deal with. But other than that, like, he was very frustrating in the sense that he lacks the oomph. He's not a £50 million player. That's not a £50 million player. And with Callum Hudson-Odoi, he didn't take his chance. Even when he moved into the final third and was playing left of the ACM, he did not take his chance. There cannot be no complaints to why he's not playing. Ziyech came on and Ziyech took his chance. And that's the frustrating aspect of it. For me, it is really evident, number 3, that Giroud's day at the club is numbered. Look, the goal was fantastic that he gave against Atletico Madrid. But today was, for me, the final icing on the cake to what Tuchel wants to do with his team. And I don't think he fits the agenda. I don't think he fits the picture. This piece of the puzzle will have to leave next year. Is it good to have the option off the bench? 100%. But the problem is, he's not mobile enough. He doesn't press enough, and we lose the emphasis of the structure and the fundamentals of our game. The fundamentals of our game, the philosophy of our game is we're going to press, we're going to be annoying to play against, and more importantly, everything's going to be done at a quick two-touch pace. With Giroud, there's a lot of battering ram. It's very old school style. Like, Giroud came so different in his generation. Like, can you imagine if Giroud came 10 years prior, when the 4-4-2 or the 2-up type, big man, little man was prominent? He would have been flourishing. But today, it was really evident for me, right? He's a big game player, big man for the big occasion, but this wasn't him. Like, it wasn't suited. We lost all our fluidity. There was no Timo Werner runs in behind. There was no Kai Havertz link up, and there was no creativity in and around him. And I think that had a lot to do with Giroud. I don't think it's all his fault, but I think it had a lot to do with it. My man of the match, Billy Big Man Gilmore. Billy Big Man Gilmore today was fantastic. All 5'4" of him was fantastic today. Listen, this kid has got one heck of ability. He can play the ball forward, he can play the ball backwards. He is literally something out of this world. And this is why, I mean, he needs to stay in and around the club. Recently, I watched a little documentary and they were talking about the treatment of Pep Guardiola with Phil Foden and sending him out on loan. Wow, that was interesting because it really opened up something. Pep didn't want to send Foden out on loan because he didn't want him to pick up negative traits. He didn't want him to become a player that was trying to accommodate his style to another team. And this is what we need to do with Billy. I understand Billy might need game time on a weekly basis to improve. But at this moment in time, if anything happens to Kovacic, Kante, or Jorginho, I am confident in Billy coming in and doing a job. And today was evident. His passing forward is Cesc-esque. He looks forward and can deliver it on a silver platter. His sideways passing, his tempo ticking is Jorginho-esque. He is good enough for Chelsea Football Club. And I think a lot of people need to understand that. Is he good enough to be playing every week now? Maybe not, because we have got great options. But he's versatile, he's creative, and he is a great option off the bench and cover. So for me, he needs to stay. Even next year, I think he'll be a perfect fourth choice if we're going with this system going forward. The defense was shaky towards the end of the game for that 20-minute spell. But other than that, we were fantastic in defence. The first half, when Goldrick and the crew couldn't touch the ball, they literally did not know what was hitting them. Every time the ball went forward, within 3 passes, we got it back, we're back on the attack. We suffocated them in that final third, and when they got the ball, they had to boot it open. We won every second ball, and it was dominant. My issue with Emerson Palmieri at left back is, at left centre back, it's makeshift. So this isn't going to happen in the bigger game. This is almost like a thank you, you're going to get some game time. Then you look at the man, Kurt Zouma and Christensen. They're going to be battling out for one of the wider positions, because when TT comes back, he's going straight in the middle. Look, whether you like it or not, Thiago Silva is the captain of this team without having the armband. He is an absolute boss, and he's going to be playing. And then Christensen and Zouma are going to have to fight it out. For me, Zouma was very good today. Christensen was he was shaky in the second half, but then that's where the substitutions came in, and the substitutions really altered the game for me. With the Reece James and Azpilicueta came on for some solidity. There was a lot of adjustments made by Thomas Tuchel, and overall in all, the result was the important part here. I think a lot of people exaggerate how bad the performance was, but I don't think it was that bad. I think we had a shaky 20-minute spell, which was expected. And the final point, and this is the biggest for me, Kepa Arrizabalaga, number 6, his time at Chelsea is up. And the reason why it's up is he made great saves today, right? He made 1 or 2 really good saves, but I still didn't feel safe. I feel relieved every time he makes a save. I don't feel infatuated to the point where yeah, that's my keeper. I don't. I've lost that faith. It'll take a lot for him to regain that faith from me. And the worst thing is, I don't matter, but his defenders do. Kurt Zouma does not trust him. Look at Kurt Zouma's body language when Kurt's running back towards his goal, and he's looking at Kepa, and he doesn't know whether Kepa's coming, whether Kepa's going. Communication gone. Communication broken down. And sadly, the only way he's going to regain that communication is a fresh start somewhere else where he feels like he's the number 1 and he's playing on a weekly basis. Because coming in every now and then, that's not going to work. I'm sorry. The worst thing is that everyone's shooting on sight now. McGoldrick took shots on sight when they're not even on. He doesn't trust it. He knows Kepa doesn't feel comfortable in his own ends. And Kepa was good today. This is the worst part. I think Kepa had a very good game today. The problem is his level of expertise has sunk down to a point where people are like, I don't think he's all that. You know what I mean? Everything is very second fiddle. It's like having a toddler. You don't believe anything they say. You literally don't believe anything they say. They'll tell you pigs are flying outside if they can get away with it. But this was the Kavkas View. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was my match review, and yeah, guys, like I said, I'm really happy that Chelsea won. Go through to the second round. It is a little bit anticlimactic to make this review after the big night against Atletico and the great draw. But we need to enjoy the wins, because at this moment in time, this is building up to be a special season. Semi-final, hopefully we get a big, great draw today. And that will be very interesting, because that draw, for me, is integral. If we get a nice draw like a Southampton or a Leicester, final, yes, baby, another trophy could be pending. If we got Man City, we can still pam them. The problem is, we just have to be very cautious, very ambitious. But that's for another day. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'm out. Peace out. Bye.